All right, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. I'm recording it in the morning, but I kind of wanted to give you an update as to patch 1.57. This could be the month. February could be the month that we see patch 1.57. From what I understand, they're really trying to get it out in February, but it will likely be late February or early March, and then we can all wait nicely for April 1st, which is my favorite day in gaming. But what we're looking at right now is the T-44-100, right? Think about the just the fury and the storm, just like all the arguments and all the issues that was created when the T-34-100, which was a tank that was made. It's not like it wasn't made, just like the T-44-100, sat at its BR and just kind of wrecked everything. And everyone was mad, plus it was premium, right? So this one's interesting, the T-44-100, because on the one token, we'll get into the differences and the aspects, but what you can really just look at it right now, it's a T-44 with a 100mm main gun. It's the same gun that the T-54s have, right? So in one regard, the T-44 is a great tank. There's the T-44-122 as a premium, and you've got 3 different versions of T-54s in the game right now. So you could easily make the argument that this tank is not needed in the slightest. But you know, it's being added nonetheless. But it's got a 100mm gun of the T-54, and it's going to be put in the main tech tree. So that's actually good, and it's also confusing and maybe bad at the same time, at least from where I'm sitting. But the beauty of this is we get to start a discussion, and I get to see, you know, a lot of other viewpoints. But I am kind of glad that it's in the main tech tree, and but part of me, what would you say? I guess the stubborn side of me is kind of like, well, it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be, from the fact that historically only one of these was made. There was 2 T-44-100 prototypes, but only one was given this D10T cannon. The other one had a different kind of 100mm gun. But I mean, so from that regard, like, there was only one of them made. And if you think about the T-25 medium tank, that was also a prototype tank, but a decent amount of those were produced. I think like around 40 or something like that. And if you think about that, right, like just for fun, historical accuracy or whatever, if you were to imagine a realistic battle, there would never be 40 T-25s on a field at one time. So you know, you never meet that maximum historical. But that argument kind of falls out by the wayside because of the fact that we have all kinds of prototype planes and stuff. So I can't really bring that argument up. That would be a foolish argument to bring. But if you think about it, the T-44-100, by having in the main tech tree, there's a good thing about it in that it won't be spammed initially, because a lot of people, if there's a premium vehicle that they think is going to overperform, it's going to be bought in abundance, which is then usually seen as a cash grab by Gaijin, and people get frustrated by it in the game. So the fact that the T-44-100 is not a premium tank, it doesn't look like a cash grab, and maybe it won't be spammed as much, because honestly, you're going to be like, oh, this is going to be great, but truthfully, it's almost like, it's actually, wow, holy shit, I just had this thought. Now it's kind of like this stopgap. You're like, oh, I got a T-44-100, but I really just wanted that T-54. So it's almost like another grindy step. It's interesting to, you know, kind of there's definitely arguments for and against its addition and its place as a premium versus main tech tree, you know, within, or rather it can be researched in the main tree along the medium tank line, and then soon to be main battle tank line with the T-54s. But I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, it's right there between the T-44 and the T-54. But let's look at what they're saying about it. They're saying that the T-44 was a great addition. It had the 85 millimeter main gun that the T-34-85 had. So it was kind of, I don't know, guys. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm still undecided whether it's a good addition or not, because for honestly, on the one side, it gives the guys that are going down the Russian tank line, which is such a good tank line. Like, there's not too many tanks in that tech tree that you're like, oh crap, I have to grind through this tank, right? You just kind of hop in there and you enjoy yourself for the most part. There's a few, but for the most part, Russian tanks are pretty damn good and well represented, maybe overly represented in War Thunder. And that actually brings up a thought that I was thinking about. Like, why are there never that many Japanese planes added? You know, why is the Japanese tech tree the least developed? And why are there so many Russians? And then you just look at the practicality of it. I was thinking about this the other day, and just thinking about it is like, Gaijin is a Russian company, and they have access to think about how many armored vehicles the Russians have made in the history of Russia and the USSR, right? Like, uncountable. It's uncountable. Obviously it is countable, but like, there's so many of them. There's so many surviving ones. They exported these things all over the world, you know, and the company's right there. It's like, oh, if we want to look at these things, we can just, you know, hop on a short flight or go down the road and study them. And then you've got Japanese aircraft, which generally just don't have a lot. Like, there's far less information on Japanese aircraft than on any of the other trees, any of the other national trees represented in the game right now. But hey, I'm gonna plug this right now. We need French and we need Italian trees ASAP. Also, we need a German Char B1 premium tank. Every time I would do a video on something hyped, you know, or a patch edition or anything like that, I'm gonna plug that French Char B1. What the tits, man? Where is that? Why don't we have it? I want it. I want it. I want it now! Because it would be great. And, oh my gosh, come on, man. Put it in the game, please. So yeah, the T-44 in the game with the 85mm. You have the 122mm premium one. The T-34-100, the biggest issue with that was just the battle rating. So since this one's not necessarily, it's not going to be premium. It's going to be that gap filler between the T-44 and the T-54. More than likely, there's going to be far less issue with battle ratings, like big, drastic battle rating issues like the T-34-100 had. There'll probably still be that constant bickering over battle ratings in general, which I think Gaijin is, you know, they've dropped the ball many times. But you know what? It's yet to be determined, so who knows? All I know is this thing's pretty scary. You've got those 6mm applique armor or Scherzen type armor plates on the sides that I think definitely make a tank look really, really cool. That's why I like the Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs so much. When you've got that nice side plating, for some reason, it just looks awesome to me. But yeah. And another cool thing is you've got this big 12.7 anti-aircraft gun on the top of it, and the DSHK. So that thing's gonna be good at shooting down planes in theory, but when you think about where this baby's gonna sit as far as its tier and its battle rating, the planes are gonna be beefier. So this would be great at lower tiers, but I mean, come on now. You're still gonna want to use that main gun and snipe the planes anyway, like all of us do, right? So this is a little bit of an update. And I'm really trying to start a conversation, maybe a debate as to this edition. Like, do you think it'll be as controversial as the T-34-100? Because you look at just Soviet medium tanks in general, once you hit the T-34 and ride all the way into this glorious sunset and all the way up to the T-54, you're usually doing just fine. Kind of jack of all trades tanks. Now you've got, I mean, I don't know if this is going to make too much of a difference because of We've already seen T-44s, and we know there's T-54s. We fought them. And this one's going to be kind of right there in the middle. It'll actually give the Russians more stuff to research, to upgrade, which then you can make the argument, hey, do we really need this? Because now it's just more stuff to grind for the Russian tankers. And, you know, there's probably a lot of other tanks that would be better additions. German Char B1 Premium. You know, something like that. Something like that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was a little conversation, a little prompt to get a conversation going regarding the T-44-100. I think its introduction will be a little controversial. At cursory glance, people are like, oh, God, oh, man, I was there with the T-34-100. It's bringing up bad memories, you know, like torpedoes in World of Warships. Once you hear that little torpedo indicator going off, you get a little stressed. You start freaking out looking around because of your experiences. I think this one might, but all said and done, I think it's actually just another hurdle that the Russians have to do in order to get to the T-54, because these were T-54 prototypes, basically. That's why there was only one of these ever made, to my knowledge. According to my research, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Not too much difference on the armor. Little slight additions, slight changes. It's like another thing to grind. That's what I think of it as. I don't think it'll cause too much of an issue because we already have the T-44 and T-54 battle ratings largely set. So if there was going to be any BR ratings, they would have to affect everything at the upper tier of the Russians. But it's probably going to be a pretty damn good tank. I'll tell you that. So let me know what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen, just a brief video on patch 1.57. And that was some T-44-122 in the background. See you guys soon.